Good morning, students. Last time we were discussing about the topic the role of microbes in industrial products. We talked about alcoholic beverages and antibiotics. Today we are going to talk about enzymes. We all know what enzymes are. These are the proteins which are going to function as a catalyst. Because they are functioning as a catalyst in the body of a living organism, that's why we are calling them biocatalyst. So these are biocatalysts which are proteinaceous in nature. So they are always going to be protein. Now see, in a living organism thousands of enzymes are functioning. Out of these thousands of enzymes, some of the enzymes are used in industrial processes. Various industries are using enzymes for different purposes. Like we are going to discuss about some of the enzymes which are used in industries. First one are proteases. What proteases are? These are proteolytic enzymes which are responsible for the breakdown of proteins. Now various industries are going to use these proteolytic enzymes, like they are used by leather industries. They are also used by silk industry to forget silk fibers. Dry cleaning, because these are responsible for the removal of proteinaceous stain that are present on the garments. So this is how these proteases enzymes are going to be used in some of the industries. The second group of enzymes that are commonly used are amylases. Amylases are the enzymes which are going to be responsible for the breakdown of carbohydrates. And like proteases, they are also used in various industries, like again they are used by dry cleaning industries to get rid of stains that are present on the clothes. They are also used by bakery industry, because these amylases are going to break down carbohydrates and they are responsible for the production of fructose, that is acting as a sweetening agent. It is the most sweetest sugar, so it is going to add more sweetness to the bakery products. So used by bakery industry. It is also going to be used by industries where chocolate syrup and corn syrup is going to be formed. So it is responsible for the clearing in turgidity of corn syrup and chocolate syrup. So this is how amylases are being used. The third kind of enzymes are, again amylases are there, glucoamylases, glucoisomerases. They are again going to be used in beverage industries and baking industries, like they are providing flavor to cold drinks. Because they are going to convert the sugar that is present into fructose, and fructose is sweetest. Plus they are going to add more sweet to the bakery products. So here in these industries these enzymes are used. The next one is rennet. Rennet is extracted out from the stomach of the calf. Why? Because it is containing the enzyme renin. And where this renin is used? This renin is used in making cheese. So for cheese production, renin enzyme is used, that is extracted from the stomach of the calf. Next enzyme that is generally used are lactase. We already know about lactase. It is going to convert milk sugar into lactic acid. The milk protein casein will be converted into curd like form. So it is going to convert lactose into lactic acid. Another enzyme that is used is streptokinase. This streptokinase is basically extracted out from a bacteria, Streptococcus. And where this streptokinase is used? This streptokinase is used to remove clot formation. Sometimes inside the blood vessels, clots are formed because of fibrin, accumulation of fibrin. So this is going to dissolve the clot by removing out the fibrin. So used for to dissolve clots present in blood vessels. So this is having a medical advantage. So these are some of the enzymes which are used in different type of industries. Now let's discuss about the second industrial product, that is vitamins. What vitamins are? These are the essential dietary factors which are required by our body in very small amount. So these are essential dietary factors required by body in small amount, and they are important for the growth and metabolism of the body. It is required for proper growth and metabolism. We are consuming various food substances that are having lots of vitamins, like green leaf vegetables are there, then fruits are there. So these are going to have vitamins. So when we are going to consume these food sources, we are taking these vitamins. And if there is deficiency of vitamins in our body, there are lots of diseases that are going to occur because of the deficiency of vitamins. Like some of them are scurvy is there, night blindness is there, rickets is there. So there are lots of diseases that are, pellagra is there, that are occurring because of the deficiency of vitamins. Now if we talk about vitamins over here, the role of microbes, so there are lots of vitamins which are produced biotechnologically, and the vitamins which we are going to discuss are vitamin B12 and vitamin B2. See, the first vitamin that was produced by the process of fermentation was vitamin C. And mostly the vitamins which are produced by biotechnology method, these are vitamin B12, that is also known as cobalamin, and the main source of this vitamin B12 is liver. And if we see the natural occurrence of vitamin B12, vitamin B12 is basically present in non-vegetarian diet. It is going to be present in fish, milk, meat, egg. So these are having vitamin B12, while the vegetarian diet is absent from this vitamin B12. Now, if we see its production, there are lots of bacteria that are used for the production of vitamin B12, like Propionibacterium sheremanii, Pseudomonas denitrificans, these are the bacteria which are involved in the production of vitamin B12. Nutrient medium that is given for these bacteria are fish meal, then soya bean meal is there. So these are going to ferment, these bacteria are going to ferment these nutritive media, and they will be responsible for the production of vitamin B12. And later on, from this bacteria, vitamin B12 is extracted out by the process of centrifugation and various chemical methods like autolysis. By breaking down the bacterial cells and by centrifugation, moving them at a very high speed, the product is being extracted out from these bacteria. So this is the one vitamin that is biotechnologically produced. The second vitamin is vitamin B2, that is also known as riboflavin. So second one is vitamin B2, that is riboflavin. This vitamin B2 is naturally going to be present in cereals, green leafy vegetables, milk, egg. So these are the sources of vitamin B2, and biotechnologically it is produced by a bacteria, that is Escherichia gossypii. So it is going to produce this vitamin B2, and this vitamin B2 is important for the growth and reproduction of organism. So if there is deficiency of this vitamin, then growth and reproduction will be affected. So these are some of the important vitamins which are biotechnologically produced by the use of microorganisms. Now the next industrial product is organic production of organic acid by using different type of microbes. There are lots of microbes which are going to convert carbohydrates into organic acids. So with the help of microorganisms, carbohydrates are converted into organic acids. Acetobacter is there, lactobacillus is there. So lots of microorganisms are there. We are going to discuss some of the organic acids over here, like citric acid is there. Citric acid is produced by a bacteria, that is Aspergillus, it is produced by Aspergillus niger. So it is produced by a fungus, that is Aspergillus niger. It is going to feed on carbohydrate sources like glucose is there, starch is there, corn syrup is there. So it is going to feed on these carbohydrates, and it will be responsible for the production of citric acid. And this citric acid is used for different purposes, like for medicine preparation. It is used It acts as a flavoring agent. It is also used for the preservation of food items. So these are some of the uses of citric acid. The next organic acid that is produced is acetic acid. Acetic acid is produced by fermented alcohol by the action of Acetobacter aceti. So the microorganism that is responsible is Acetobacter aceti, that is responsible for the production of acetic acid. Now the next organic acid is lactic acid. We all know that lactic acid is produced by various carbohydrate sources. Again, it can be potato starch, and this is produced by bacteria like Lactobacillus bulgaricus and Lactobacillus delbrueckii. These are responsible for the production of lactic acid. Cyclosporin is produced. Cyclosporin A is produced, and this cyclosporin A is produced by a fungus, that is Trichoderma polyspermum. So these are some of the organic acids which are produced by different microorganisms. Statin is also there, and these are having various medical advantages also. Like statin, it is used to lower down the blood cholesterol level, and the organism that is responsible is Monascus purpureus. Is responsible for the production of statin. So these are some of the organic acids produced by different microorganisms, and they are used in different fields. So this is all about the industrial products in which various microorganisms are involved. Our next topic is microbes in sewage treatment. Microorganisms are also used in the treatment of sewage water. Now what do we understand by this sewage? This sewage is going to represent municipal water waste that is carried out from towns and cities through sewers, and this water is containing solid as well as liquid waste. Human and animal excreta is there, washing water is there, lots of microbes are present, microalgae, microfungi, bacteria is there, protozoans are there. So these are present in this sewage water. Mostly 99% of this sewage water is made up having water, and 1% is having inorganic and organic substances, organic waste. Now when this sewage water is directly allowed to enter into rivers, lakes, ponds without any treatment, then it is going to completely destroy those water bodies. It is responsible for the pollution of all water bodies. So it is the major source of water pollution. To decrease the water pollution, this sewage water is required to be treated before it is going to be entering into the water bodies. So treatment simply means all the waste hazardous waste that is present in this sewage water, that will be removed out of it with various steps. So, what happens with this sewage water? Basically, this sewage water is responsible for the production of various waterborne diseases. And we know that in all around the world, the largest number of deaths are there because of the waterborne diseases. So, they are going to contaminate all the water bodies. Various microbes are present over here which are going to make an individual diseased who is going to consume this water. Another thing, that it is going to obviously produce foul smell because of the waste that is present inside it. Foul smell will be produced. And the third important thing is that the presence of organic waste in the water, sewage water, that is going to increase the biological oxygen demand of the water body. It is biological oxygen demand, also known as BOD. Now, what this biological oxygen demand is? It is the amount of oxygen that is used by organisms when they are going to oxidize organic matter that is present in 1 liter of water. So, when they are going to oxidize the organic matter, they are going to require oxygen. Now, more the organic matter is present in water, more oxygen will be required by these organisms. So, increased BOD, increased biological oxygen demand is going to show that a water body is polluted by organic waste. So, what this biological oxygen demand is? It is the amount of oxygen required by organisms to oxidize all organic matter present in 1 liter of water. So, that simply says high BOD means high organic waste present in water. So, when we are adding this sewage water in other water bodies, there also in other water bodies, because of the addition of organic waste, BOD is going to increase, and because of this increased biological oxygen demand, the organisms, the aquatic organisms that are surviving in the water bodies, they are going to suffer from the deficiency of oxygen and they are going to die. So, the sewage water is going to kill the aquatic organisms present in the water bodies. That is the reason that various sewage treatment plants are there, and this sewage water is not directly added into the water bodies. So, we are going to see how sewage treatment plants are working and what are the role of microorganisms in these sewage treatment plants. See, sewage treatment is done in 2 phases. It is done in 2 phases: primary phase, primary treatment, and secondary treatment. And secondary treatment. What happens in primary treatment? Primary treatment is basically mechanical, and in this primary treatment, the solid waste like polythene sheets are there, other household solid waste are there, they are removed by the help of filters. So, here filters are arranged, the filters are going to be gradually reduced in their pore size, and these filters are responsible for filtering out the solid waste that is present in water. So, here solid waste will be removed with filters arranged according to small pore size. So first filter will be of large pore size, the next filter will be of small, then more smaller pore size, more smaller. So this is how in a gradual manner filters are arranged with smaller pore size. So after filtering out all the solid waste, now this wastewater is going to be allowed to settle down in a chamber that is known as grit chamber. In this grit chamber, the solid waste that is going to be sediment down. At its own rate, the heavy particles are going to be sediment down. So sedimentation is going to occur. After sedimentation, the solid waste that has sedimented down, that is known as primary sludge, and the water, the effluent that is coming, that effluent is again having some of the mixed particles. So they are again going to be settled down, and after settling down, the effluent which we are getting, that effluent is used for secondary treatment, that is passed on to a next chamber where secondary treatment is going to occur, and the secondary treatment is always biological in nature. So here biological treatment is given. Now what is done initially? The initial step of biological stage is that the whole effluent is going to be mechanically aerated. Aerated means proper aeration is done, air is mixed inside the effluent. The reason is because here the aerobic microorganisms are going to grow, and these aerobic microorganisms are going to require proper amount of oxygen. So aeration is done. Aeration is done. Aerobic microorganisms, bacteria, protozoans, fungi are going to grow, and these aerobic microorganisms, they will be responsible for the degradation of organic waste that is present in these water bodies. So they will be responsible for degradation of organic waste, and later on they are allowed to settle down. So the microorganisms along with the degraded waste that they have produced, that is going to settle down, that is known as sedimentation sludge, and that is again transferred to a chamber where there are anaerobic conditions, means no atmospheric oxygen is present. So without atmospheric oxygen, anaerobic microorganisms are going to grow, and these anaerobic microorganisms, they are going to convert organic waste, organic substances into soluble substances, and they will be responsible for production of gases like methane, carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, and these are used as biogas. So from here biogas will be produced, organic waste will be converted into soluble substances, and later on it is again undergo some of the chemical treatments, and after all these treatments this sewage water will be allowed to enter into water bodies, so that all the hazardous substances are removed by these processes. So to prevent water pollution, now there are various sewage treatment plants that are present in India, and they are responsible for the treatment of sewage water, and only then the water is allowed to enter into water bodies. So that's all for today. Next time we are going to talk about the fermentation product that is going to occur at industrial level.